So I am back for video number 2 for today. I think I'm gonna have 3 total for today. I'm not sure. But I will probably get them out on consecutive days. I don't see myself getting them all out at one time. So I just did my Owl Crate and Fairy Loot unboxing, and now, you can't see it, but what my hand is on right here is part of a stack of boxes that I have gotten from BookOutlet. And there are a lot of them. Okay, so there are 5 of these, and I figured I'd open them all with you guys because I think this would be more fun than just doing a haul. So here we go. I did the sides already, so all I had to do was the tops. And in BookOutlet style, there's all this. All right, I don't have a specific order these came in. I don't exactly know which box I'm getting first. I think this is one of the later boxes. So the first book that I pull out is Shadow and Bone. I got 6 of Crows, and I really want to read the Shadow and Bone, the Grisha trilogy, before I get to it. So I just got the first one. If I don't like it, then I'll just skip to the 6 of Crows. But I really wanted to try it, at least try to read these ones first. So I got the first one of those. I got Shiny Broken Pieces to go with this is the sequel to Tiny Pretty Things, which I don't know if it's in another box or if it's already in the house. I know I bought it though. So we'll have to wait and see. I have no idea where it's at. So here is the second book that I got. Next one I got was the Mara Dyer trilogy. I have heard such good things about this series. I've heard a couple of things about this series, but more good than not. And to be real with you, I have no idea what it's about. But it was so much cheaper to buy the entire trilogy than it was just to buy the books individually. So I figured, why not? I'm gonna give it a shot. So let me know what you guys think of this one. I definitely want to get to it soon, but there's a lot of books I want to get to soon. And even though I read 9 books last month, it's still gonna take me a while to get through all the books that I have in my house. Okay, I have a couple series in here, so I'm gonna try to pull the ones that aren't series first. So I have the Smell of Other People's Houses. Books and Lala is one of my favorite YouTubers, and she loved this book. And for the most part, she's got a very similar taste to me. I'm a total Twihard though, and she hates Twilight, so that's a big difference. But when it comes to some of the more obscure books that don't really have a purpose other than just to be kind of interesting, and that's this kind of book. And all I know is that it takes place in Alaska, so I'm not sure. But I am interested in reading it, so I went ahead and grabbed this one too. So I have Asylum, and I thought it would be fun to get a couple of the other books in the series because they were all in there. So now I have Sanctum, which is the second book. I have Catacomb, which is the 3rd book, and then I have the novelette. So I have almost the entire series. I'm missing one book. I'm missing Escape from the Asylum, which is the 4th book, I think. And I thought this would be a lot of fun to just power through because it's full of pictures. And any book that is full of pictures is a book that I definitely want to get to. The only default or the only bad thing about this series is that I have the first one in hardcover and the rest of the paperback. But, oh well. So I'm definitely interested in getting to these ones soon as well. I think you're going to hear that a lot from me. I mean, I didn't buy this, I didn't care about them. There's a couple that I bought and I was like, hey, I've heard good things about this and have no idea what it's about. But this one was, Asylum got popular when Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children came out, and I have the first one, and now I have most of the rest of the books, so that way I can just kind of power through. This is a series that I've heard really great things about. And I think this one's first and this one's second. I didn't get the 3rd one because I thought that just 2 books of an unknown author and an unknown series was better than just getting all 3 of them. So the first one is Snow Like Ashes, and the second one is Ice Like Fire. I have no idea what these are about. I know that one of the YouTubers I've watched has read them and liked them. I don't remember which one it was though. So these ones are kind of biffed up though. They weren't scratch and dent, but they are a little biffed up, which is unfortunately something that you have to watch out for. It does happen occasionally, but I'm still excited. So the next book I got is 1,000 Pieces of You. I checked this out from the library and started reading it, and I got a couple chapters in, but by the time I started reading it, it was already due back. So I only was able to read the first 2 chapters, but I really, really liked what I read of it. So I went ahead and I bought this one and returned the library book. I think there actually is a sequel somewhere and buried in these boxes, but I'm not sure. So this is the first one of the series, and it's about alternate realities. You have this main reality, and then every time you make a decision, you're cutting your line. So simply by deciding to open these boxes now, I have split my line of destiny into a different direction. And this is about these people who have learned how to go into the alternate dimensions of decisions that you could have made, or that your parents could have made. You know, you could not be here right now because they could have gone a different way. So here's another book I know nothing about, but it gets really good reviews. It's called Holly Badger's 5 to 1. No clue. Cover's pretty. And then another one that I don't know anything about, I'll Give You the Sun. I've heard really, really good things about this one too. And again, it's got a really pretty cover on it, and it got a Pulitzer Prize for excellence in young adult literature. So, can't be that bad, right? All right, the last couple books is in the box. The last couple books in the box. The first one I got is Shatter Me. They did not have any of the rest of the series, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like Tahira Mafi, but I recently read her Alice-ish book, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that I'll like this one just as much as I like that one. So this is a book that I was at the library, and I found this book that I thought looked really, really interesting. But I realized after I picked it up that it was number 2 in the series, but they didn't have number 1. So here's number 1. And then of course, the last book I have in the box is an Alice book. It's called Queen of Hearts, and it's an Alice retelling. And let's be real here, if anyone makes an Alice retelling, I will try it because I love Alice. So that's box number 1. Box number 2, almost as big, just as big. This whole box was like $35. I have one that was $100, but the rest of them have all been about $35 just so I can get free shipping. That's why there's a couple books in these boxes, but I have no idea what they are. So I figured it saves me money to buy a couple extra books. When the books are $3 and your shipping's $5, you buy the extra book. So, paper. More paper. Oh, this is this box. Okay, this box I bought when Books in Lala became a blogger friend because she had a 20% off coupon. So I bought the entire Cinder series, or the Lunar Chronicles, or whatever you call them, because I wanted them for so long, and I love them so much, I bought the whole thing. But of course, this didn't bring me up to my $35 mark. So I went hunting through the website, and I found the companion novel, Stars Above, that has all of the novellas in it. And then I found 10,000 Skies Above You, which is number 2 to the one I just showed you, 1,000 Pieces of You. This is the second book. And I bought Crooked Kingdom because I have Six of Crows and they go together. And the only part that makes me so mad is that I bought Six of Crows from Barnes & Noble because I really wanted to read it soon. And if I had just waited a little while, they have a box set of the 2 of these together. I could have saved myself a lot of money. So I've got to that point now where I just need to be patient with this website because eventually the books I want will come. Box number 3 is much smaller than the rest of the boxes. So this is probably the one that was like barely $35 versus the ones that were a little bit over. One of these I got during the summer whatever sale it was. And this one, the last one I know for a fact I got with the Books in Lala. But I definitely got something else from the summer sale too. The problem is I can't remember what I bought. Ooh. Crap! Look what I did. Well, crap. Oh. I need to pay better attention. I really do. Okay, so the rest of this should all be fine. So the first book I got was The Bone Season, and I've heard really, really great things about this one. I didn't realize about the paperback though, so I'll have to look and see which one the next book is in, because the next book is on my list right now. Because I'm a dork, and I buy things before I read them. So there's one. This looked hilarious to me, so I could not buy it. It's called Zombies vs. Unicorns. It's a short story collection, and these are all the short stories, writers for it. Scott Westerfeld's one of the contributors, and his wife is the editor for this. So it's a bunch of just short stories, and I thought it sounded really funny. And I wanted to buy it years ago, but I never got around to doing it, but now I have it. I got another series. So this is number 1, it's called Magnolia, and this is number 2, and it's airy. And I have no idea what they're about. I cannot remember. I remember looking this one up, reading all the stuff on it, looking at the Goodreads for it, and it sounded really great, so I bought them both. I also picked up the 3 Dark Crowns, and I loved the idea of this one because it was about these triplets, these daughters that are born, and they each have their own power, and they have to fight to the death so that one of them can inherit the crown. And I thought it sounded really dark and really twisted, and I just get in those moods sometimes where I want the dark, twisted books. So that's what this is for. The last book in this box is A Court of Mist and Fury. I bought A Court of Thorns and Roses recently, and now I have number 2. So I just have one more to buy, and this is definitely on the top of my TBR list because I really, really, really want to read these. This thing is enormous. Box number 4. Let's see if I can, my gosh, this is all books. So this is the one that I bought for the sale. They have a quarterly sale that comes out, and this I bought for the quarterly sale because this is almost completely books that I've read some of the series of and have not finished, or they're books that I've heard great things about, or they're books that I've been wanting to read, or one book in here is just because I thought it would be funny. Alright, so let's just dive on in. The first book in here is The Stars Never Rise by Rachel Vincent. And I really, really like this author. So I bought this one simply because I love her. I have no idea what this one's about, but I have not come across a book of hers yet that I haven't liked. So, of course, you know, top author, you buy their book. Next is a copy of The Silver Shadows, and I don't know if you can see them, but the rest of the series is right there, and I don't have this one yet. And look, it's a signed copy, which I didn't know. That's really cool. Look. This one is by Rachel Mead, and this is part of the Bloodline series. It's the 5th book in the Bloodline series. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5th book in the Bloodline series. I love Vampire Academy, and I liked Bloodlines a lot, but I have fallen out of reading it, so I'm going to reread Bloodlines and then get to the rest of these books. But this one was a great deal, and I didn't have it yet, and to top it all off, it's signed. I love getting surprise signed copies of stuff. So this is the novellas for the Unwind series, and I have all of them lined. I think they're downstairs. I'm not sure where they're at. I have another bookshelf in my room and another bookshelf, 2 bookshelves downstairs. So this is like the short story novellas from the Unwind series. Another favorite author of mine is Melissa Dela Cruz, and this is a spin-off from the Witches of East End series, and I think I read the whole thing, but I'm not sure because I got really confused when she came out with all the novellas, and then she binded them all up, and I don't know if I've read them all. So that's one of the things I have to figure out, is if I've read the entire series or not. But this is a YA version YA spin-off of that series called Summers on East End Triple Moon. So as I mentioned earlier, I have read all of the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, and this is just a companion novel for it. This goes with my my Miss Peregrine series. These two books I got because of my daughter. So we are reading the Pegasus series, and we also have Valkyrie, which is by the same author. And the last book of the Pegasus series and the second book of the Valkyrie series. And Elise is like, well, we're not there yet. And I'm like, I know, but they're good prices. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to not buy them simply because they're not there yet. So this one is a Wicked Lovely book. I read the first 4 books of this series. I have not read book 5. And so this is another one that I read so long ago that I remember most of it, but I still feel like I'm missing stuff. So I want to go back through and read the rest of the series, and then this is like a companion novel for it. I do have the entire series just over here. I just didn't have this one. And I thought this would be a lot of fun to read. So I got that one. I have heard wonderful things about this book. This is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and this was the special edition. Those end pages, oh my gosh. But this is the special edition version, the collector's version of Eleanor and Park. And I have not read this book yet. It's been one of the books that I checked out from the library and I meant to read. I just never got around to doing it. But I've heard such great things about Rainbow Rowell that I went ahead and picked it up. So I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and I've heard that I really like that book a lot, and I've heard the rest of his books are also very good, and this one was in there, and I thought it sounded fun. It's about a world where almost everybody's extraordinary, and so the book revolves around the few that are still ordinary, and I thought that sounded like a really fun, cool little concept to, you know, in a world full of superheroes, what happens to people that are not? This one sounded cute. This one's called Seriously Wicked, and it's just a little fun witch book, and it's super, super short, so I should be able to read this in a day. And I just thought it sounded cute, so I got it. And to go along the same lines, I also got this one. This is called The Accidental Afterlife of Thomas Marston, and somebody on BookTube, I don't remember who, read this book and said it was really cute. Then this one is called The Wrong Side of Right. Again, beautiful cover. I looked it up. It had really good rates on Goodreads, and a lot of the people that I look up to on BookTube have read it. So I got it. I don't remember what it's about. I know I looked though. This is the book that was the catalyst for this purchase, and it's Every Heart a Doorway. And this one just, oh, it sounds wonderful. It's about all these kids who go into these fantastic worlds like Wonderland and through cupboards into Narnia, that kind of stuff. And what happens to them when they come out? You know, they long for these worlds they left and don't feel the same after they leave. She has a prequel to this book that's about 2 of the characters, but I haven't even read this one yet, and it's really, really short also. I heard it's wonderful, so I definitely grabbed this one. This is the catalyst for this purchase, is that after I saw this one, I wanted to get to my $35, and you saw what happened. This is the big one. This is the oldest box that I bought, so I have no idea what's in it. Ooh. Yeah, this is the oldest book box I have. This is the first one I bought. And there's a lot of stuff in here. First is The Wrath of the Dawn and the Rose of the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. That one's signed too. Yay! Check it out. I love the fun signed copies. So, yes. This is a 1001 Nights retelling. I started reading this one, of course, I had the same problem. I was reading it too close to when it was due. I got about a chapter into it. I really liked it, but I wasn't able to finish it, so I returned it to the library, and now I own it. Okay, next. I got Rebel in the Sands. It was one of those ones that I really don't know what it's about, but it had a beautiful cover and it had decent ratings. It wasn't the best ratings, but they were decent. This box is going to be full of a lot of, I don't remember what this book is about because I bought these so long ago. There's another one that I don't know what it's about. It's called The Forbidden Wish, and it gets really good ratings. It's blurbed by authors that I really like. So I thought, hey, this would be fun. I have 3 stacks. Oh, you can see the top of them now. I have 3 stacks sitting next to me. When I find a book written by an author that I really like, say Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, I buy the books for the series. This is number 1, and it's The Iron Trial, and this is number 2, it's the BookOutlet, and I think there's another one or 2. Is this one signed too? Oh, that is so cool. So cool. Okay, anyways, I'm geeking out over the signatures over here. These ones I've been really looking forward to reading. They're supposed to be kind of like a Harry Potter type of thing where you have a magical school and the kid is trying to fail the test because he doesn't want to go to it. Guess what? He passes anyways. And so this is his adventure. And again, they're small, so I'm gonna have fun. My gosh, it's the Leaning Tower of books over here. There's tiny pretty things. So the sequel was in one of the other boxes, and here's the original. I was right, I hadn't opened it yet. So the next book I bought was The Glittering Court. This is one I thought I already had, but I didn't. I have Soundless. And again, I like the author. I like the series that she's written in the past, so I went ahead and bought it, even though this one does not have good ratings. But I figured it's just the first one, and it was super cheap. I'll try it anyways. Well, I have a couple of series in here, and I was trying to find the other pieces to the series before I pulled them out. So the first one I have is 13 Little Blue Envelopes, and then the last 13 Little Blue Envelope. I read this ages ago from the library, and I liked it a lot. I've never read this one. This one's about a girl whose grandma died and left her little envelopes that she's supposed to like travel around the world and open. And this is with the first 12 in it, and there's the 13th. So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know where this is going. We have The Summer That I Turned Pretty. It's Not Summer Without You. And We'll Always Have Summer. These were all written by Jenny Han. She wrote the books All the Boys I Loved Before or something like that. And I've been wanting to get one of those books, the P.S. I Love You, that's what it is. I've been wanting to read those books, but they sold out before I had a chance to get my hands on them. So I saw these ones, and I love contemporaries, especially the cute, goofy, flirty type. So I got these ones. I got the whole series, and hopefully I like them because I've never read from her before, but her other books get really great reviews, so hopefully this one will too. For the Book Buddy-a-thon, my first readathon, I read the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and this one is a sequel, and it's called The Last Vampire in America, Last American Vampire. And that picture, the original, is my favorite picture ever. The story behind it is goofy, and how they never knew each other. He saw her, he dipped her, he kissed her. And then you add on top of it that I really enjoyed the first book, so I went and bought the second book. At least that one I know what it's about. My Fair Fairy Godmother and My Unfair Fairy Godmother. They're kind of like Cinderella retellings. They sounded really cute. One of my favorite new to me authors, is Morgan Matson. I love The Unexpected Everything. It was one of my favorite books of the year so far. And so they had a box set of the other 3 books that she wrote, and I went ahead and grabbed it. I need to get The Unexpected Everything for myself because I got it from the library. But here's a box set of her other ones. It's called Detours, Do-Overs, and Dares, And it is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, The Second Chance Summer, and Since You've Been Gone. This is one of those books that I like the cover of. It's called Love and Gelato. I have a semi-diverse taste in books, and I was just in a contemporary mood when I bought all of these. It's still kind of them, so it doesn't matter. But so yeah, contemporary. Don't know what it's about. This one I do though. This is my next Alice book, and the pictures in this book are so creepy that I just had to get it. I bought it just simply for the illustrations. There is a adult author that I really like. She is Charlene Harris. She wrote the Sookie Stackhouse books. I've read almost all of them, but I really like her mysteries. I have not read one of her mysteries in years, and I didn't realize that she had a whole new series out. So the series is this one. So the first one is Midnight Crossroads, and the second one is Day Shift, and there's like a third and a fourth one too. But I just saw them and I was like, ooh, I really like this author. She's really fun to read. I got a little bit bored of the Sookie books because they just went on for so long. And I'm really close to the end. I've only got a couple left, but it'd be kind of fun to go with something a little bit different. So I have some more historical ones. This one is about, yeah, I saw that coming. This one is about the Titanic and the California, and it's about the watchman sitting on the Californian and being able to see the distress flares from the Titanic and not going to help. I am oddly in love with anything Titanic, and I have been since I was a little girl. My friends were teasing me that I was just really into the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, but that wasn't true. I've been in Titanic for as long as I can remember. I used to joke that in a past life I died on Titanic, and that's why I'm so obsessed with it. But, so I bought that. And then I bought a book on the Zodiac Killer. It's called The Most Dangerous Animal of All. It says Searching for the Father and Finding the Zodiac Killer. So it's about this guy who was just trying to find out his lineage and ended up accidentally finding out that his dad's the Zodiac. There's pictures in it and everything. Just, you know, a couple of pictures. I thought it sounded really cool. It was super cheap. And I went ahead and I grabbed it because, I don't know, serial killers kind of got a special place in my heart. And every once in a while I get into a mood where I want to read true crime. So I have a true crime book. Stick that there while the rest of them fell on the floor. I'm down to the last two books in this haul. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the second to last book is Star Touched Queen. Again, I'm not really sure what this one's about, but I know of a lot of people who read it. This one's dinged up, which is funny because the true crime one was a scratch and dent, and this one wasn't. So you never know what you're gonna get. Be aware that you could possibly get some dinged up books, but for the price, I'm okay with that. And this one's not like a super special one. If when my Alice in Wonderland book came dinged up, I had a little problem with that. If Cinder had come dinged up, I'd have a little problem with that. This one, I'm okay with it. Okay. I'm not gonna make it worse, but. And then the last book I got is Nevernight from J. Kristoff. I read Illuminate and loved it. And so I've been kind of poking around at the authors of Illuminate, and J. Kristoff is one of them. And I found out that he wrote this book, and I guess it's an adult book. I wasn't aware of that fact. Go. That is it. That is my massive book haul. And I'm not even going to try to pick these up because just to give you, yeah, nope, not even going to do it. I have a lot of books here. That was fun. Now I'm going to figure out where to put them.